In a kingdom shattered by war, betrayal, and foreign invaders, one man rose from the ashes, not with a mighty army but with careful strategy, patient diplomacy, and ruthless resolve. His name was Abu Abd Allah al-Sheikh Muhammad ibn Yahya, known in history as Muhammad al-Sheikh al-Wattasi. He would become the first official sultan of the Wattasid dynasty, ruling for nearly 3 decades from the early 1470s until his death in 1504. But power did not come easily, nor did peace. Born into chaos, Muhammad was a nephew, or possibly the son, of the long-serving regent Yahya ibn Abi Zakaria Yahya, a man who had ruled Morocco from the shadows after the Marinid dynasty collapsed. When Yahya died around 1478, the Moroccan throne stood empty. No Marinid heir remained. The once glorious kingdom of Morocco was now a broken patchwork of rival cities, rebellious tribes, and looming threats. In the north, the Portuguese had taken Ceuta, Tangier, Asila, and were eyeing more. In the south, Sharifian families, especially the Sadians, were rising, claiming divine legitimacy. And in the center, the Wattasids held Fez, but little else. Morocco was a lion bleeding from every limb. Crowning a sultan. In this chaos, Muhammad al-Sheikh made a daring move. Around 1472 or 1478, sources differ, he declared himself sultan, the first of his dynasty to openly claim the title. It was a bold step. His predecessors had ruled as viziers or regents, afraid to provoke loyalists of the fallen Marinids. But Muhammad knew that Morocco could no longer afford shadow governments. It needed a symbol of strength. He would be that symbol. Yet his authority was anything but secure. A kingdom of fire. For the next 30 years, Muhammad al-Sheikh ruled a land in flames. He struggled to unify Morocco under Wattasid rule, battling constant rebellions. Tribes in the Atlas Mountains defied his authority. Coastal cities resisted taxation or swore allegiance to the Portuguese. Southern oases fell under the influence of Sharifian preachers and Sadian warlords who claimed descent from the Prophet and called the Wattasids illegitimate. In Fez, Muhammad tried to centralize power. He appointed loyal governors, married into noble families, and built alliances with urban elites and Sufi orders. He used Islamic legitimacy, scholarship, and diplomacy to present himself as the true protector of Morocco's Islamic heritage. But his reign was a constant balancing act between foreign invasion and internal collapse. Holding the center, Muhammad al-Sheikh's great achievement was survival. He held on to Fez, Morocco's symbolic and political heart, for nearly 3 decades. He managed to keep the Wattasid line alive in an age when dynasties fell overnight. Despite all odds, he repelled several attempts by the Portuguese to advance inland. He opened diplomatic channels with other Islamic powers and sought religious backing from scholars and jurists to reinforce his authority. But his kingdom never fully unified. He was more a caretaker of survival than a builder of empire. He ruled not because he conquered, but because he outlasted. The end of a reluctant reign. Muhammad al-Sheikh died in 1504 after nearly 30 years of rule. He left behind a fragile dynasty, one that would struggle under his successors and ultimately fall to the Sadians, who declared their own caliphate in the south. But history remembers Muhammad al-Sheikh for what he was, a man who took a dying kingdom and gave it time to breathe, a ruler who chose diplomacy when others chose swords, a sultan who wore the crown in an age when it meant nothing except survival. Muhammad al-Sheikh al-Wattasi was not the founder of an empire. He was not a great conqueror, but he was the shield of a nation in its most desperate hour. Want more stories of unsung rulers and silent kings? Subscribe to our channel and dive deep into the forgotten pages of North African history.